Boys and girls, I've had a little break from stories for a while, but I was chatting with one of my little friends in school about some of the stories that she enjoys, and she reminded me of some great stories that I used to enjoy whenever I was little and that I used to read to my children. The stories that she was talking about were the Amelia Jane stories. Wonder, have you read any of those? But the story that I had in my house is this book. It's called The Book of Brownies. It's really, really old, this one. In fact, the cover has fallen off. And this is a story about three little brownies called Hop, Skip and Jump. And they get up to some terrible mischief and they have some super adventures. So I thought I might read you the first chapter of the Book of Brownies. So this story is especially for Philippa. This chapter is called Hop, Skip and Jump, Play a Naughty Trick. Hop, Skip and Jump were just finishing their breakfast one morning when they heard the postman rat-tat-tattling on the doors down the street. "Dear me," said Hop. "Everybody seems to be getting a letter this morning. Perhaps we shall too." The three brownies leaned out of the window of Crab Apple Cottage and watched the postman come nearer. There they are. There's Hop, Skip and Jump and the postie. Next door but one, rat-tat, and a large letter fell into the letterbox. Next door, rat-tat-tat, another large letter just like the first. "I wonder whatever the letters are," said Skip. "They're all the same and everyone is having one, so there'll be one for us too." But there wasn't. The postman walked right past Crab Apple Cottage. "Hey," called Jump, "you've missed us out. Come back, postman." The postman shook his head. "There isn't a letter for you," he said, and he rat-tat-tatted on the cottage next door. Well, Hop, Skip and Jump were upset. No letter for them when everyone else had one. Whoever could be writing letters and missing them out? "Let's go and ask Gobo next door what his letter is about," said Hop. So the three brownies hopped over to Gobo's. They found him looking very pleased and excited, reading his letter aloud to Pinky, his wife. "What's it all about?" asked Skip. "Oh, listen, just listen," said Gobo. "It's an invitation from the king, and this is what he says. His Majesty, the King of Fairyland, is giving a grand party on Thursday. Please come." "Oh!" cried the brownies. "Then why haven't we been asked?" Gobo looked surprised. "Haven't you had a letter?" he asked. "Oh well, there must be a reason for it. Have you been very good lately?" "Not very," said Hop. "Not awfully," said Skip. "Not at all," said Jump, who was the most truthful of the three. "Well, there you are," said Gobo, folding up his letter. "You know that the king never asks bad brownies to his parties. We can't be expected to be invited if you will be naughty." The brownies went out crossly. They went back to Crab Apple Cottage and sat down around the table. "What have we done that was naughty lately?" asked Hop. "We painted old Mother Wimple's pig green," said Skip. "Yes, and we got onto Gilly Brownie's cottage roof and put fireworks down her chimney," said Jump. "And we put some prickly gorse onto that horrid old wizard's bed," said Hop. "Oh dear, perhaps we have been a bit naughtier than usual." "And someone's told the king," sighed Skip. "So we've been left out of the party," groaned Jump. "Well, it serves us right." Everybody except the three bad brownies had got an invitation. Brownie Town was most excited. "It's going to be a very grand party," said Gobo next door, who was busy making himself a brand new suit. "There's going to be dancing and conjuring and presents for everybody." This made Hop, Skip and Jump feel even more disappointed than ever. "Can't we go somehow?" wondered Hop. "Can't we dress up and pretend to be someone else, not ourselves?" "Oh, bless me." "We haven't got a card to show," said Skip mournfully. "Look, there's Gobo's wife," said Jump, pointing out through the window. "What's she looking upset about? Hey, Pinky, what's the matter?" "Oh, such great disappointment," answered Pinky. "The conjurer, or magician, that the king was going to have at the party can't come after all, and the Lord High Chamberlain can't get anyone else. Isn't it disappointing?" "Well, not so disappointing for us as for you," said Hop. Then a great idea came to him as he turned to Skip and Jump. What do you think his idea is going to be? "I say," he said with his naughty little eyes twinkling, "I say, couldn't we pretend that we were the conjurers to get the Lord High Chamberlain to let us into the party?" "Oh, what a fine idea," cried Skip and Jump in delight. "You can be the conjurer, Hop, and we will be your assistants." "But what tricks shall we do?" asked Hop. "We don't know any yet." All that morning, the Brownies tried to think of conjuring tricks to do at the party. But although they tried their hardest to make rabbits come out of hats and ribbons come out of their mouths, it wasn't a bit of good. They just couldn't do it. They were having dinner and feeling very unhappy about everything when a knock came at the door. "Come in," cried Hop. The door opened and an old woman with green eyes looked in. "Good afternoon," she said. "Do you want to buy any magic?" "She's a witch," whispered Jump. "Be careful of her." "What sort of magic?" asked Hop. "Oh, any sort," said the witch, coming into the room. "Look here." She took Hop's watch, rubbed it between her hands, blew on it, opened her hands again, and the watch was gone. "Buttons and buttercups," gasped Hop in astonishment. "Where has it gone to?" "You'll find it in the teapot," said the witch. Skip lifted the lid of the teapot, and there, sure enough, lay the watch, half covered in tea leaves. He fished it out with a spoon. Hop was very cross. "I call that a silly trick," he said. "Why, you might have spoiled my watch." "Do something else, Mistress Witch," begged Jump. "Give me your teacup," said the witch. Jump gave it to her. The witch filled it full of tea, covered it with a plate, whistled on the plate, and took it off again. "Oh!" cried Jump, hardly believing his eyes. "It's full of little goldfish." And so it was, the tiniest, prettiest little things that you ever saw. The Brownies thought it was wonderful. Then the witch emptied Jump's tea into Skip's cup, and hey presto, all the fish vanished. The Brownies began to feel as if they were dreaming. "Oh, if only we could do one or two tricks like that," sighed Hop. "Why, we could get into the king's party as easily as anything." "Oh ho, so you want to go to the party, do you?" asked the witch. "Haven't you been invited?" "No," answered Skip, and he told the witch all about it. She listened hard. "Dear, dear," she said at the end, "it really is a shame not to invite nice little brownies like you. Listen, if I get you into the palace as conjurers, will you do the trick that I want you to? It's a very, very special one." "Show us it," said the Brownies, beginning to feel most excited. The witch went outside and came back carrying a round green basket with a yellow lid. She put it on the floor. "Now you," she said to Hop, "jump in this basket." Hop jumped inside. The witch put the lid on, then she tapped 3 times, 1, 2, 3, on the top, and she sang, "Rimini, romini, ray, my magic will send you away. Rimini, romini, roo, ever so far you will go." Hop and Skip looked at the basket. It didn't move or creak. "Take off the lid and look inside," said the witch. Skip took off the lid and almost fell in the basket in surprise. "Oh!" he shouted. "Oh, Hop's gone! The basket is empty!" And so it was. There was nothing in it at all. "Now watch," said the witch, and putting the lid on again, she began singing, "Rimini, romini, ray, hear the spell and obey. Rimini, romini, Ralph, jump out of the basket yourself." Immediately the lid flew off and out jumped Hop, looking as pleased as can be. "Good gracious!" gasped Jump, sitting down suddenly on a chair. Where have you been, Hop? Well, I was in the basket all the time, said Hop. But you weren't. We looked, said Skip. You couldn't have, said Hop, or you'd have seen me. We did look, I tell you, said Skip crossly. Be quiet, said the witch. It's the magic in the basket that does the trick. Now listen, I'll lend you that basket if you promise to do the trick at the party in front of the king and the queen. Oh, of course we will, cried the brownies. But why do you lend it to us for nothing? Oh, just because I'm kind-hearted, said the witch, grinning very wide indeed. But mind, when you've got into the basket and have vanished and have been brought back, you've got to offer to do the same thing with anyone else. Perhaps the king will offer to get into the basket, or the queen, or the princess. My, said Hop, do you think they will? Oh, they're most sure to, said the witch. Now, mind if you let them try, but you must remember this. If any of the royal family get in, tap 7 times. Not 3. 3 times for ordinary folk, but 7 times for royalty, you see? Yes, we'll remember, promised Skip. And thank you very much for lending us such a lovely trick. When the witch had gone, leaving behind the green basket with its yellow lid, the 3 brownies were tremendously excited. They began to plan their dresses for the next day and spent all afternoon and evening making them. Hop looked very grand in a black velvet suit with a long red cloak and a peaked hat. Skip and Jump were dressed like pages and were just in bright green suits, both alike. When the party day came, they went out very early with the magic basket and hid in a nearby wood, for they didn't want any of the brownies to see them and guess what they were going to do. I hope they have lots of lovely things for tea, said Hop. I'm getting very hungry. It will soon be time to go, said Skip. I can hear the drums to say that the first guests have arrived. Come along then, said Jump. We'll arrive too. Now remember, I'm Twirly-Whirly, the great conjurer from the land of Tiddlywinks, said Hop, and you are my 2 assistants. Don't forget you've got to be polite to me and bow each time you speak to me. Off they went, all feeling a little nervous. But Hop, who was bigger than the others and rather fat, looked so grand in his red cloak that Skip and Jump soon began to feel that nobody could possibly guess their secret. At last, they reached the palace gates. Your cards, said the sentry to Hop, Skip and Jump. I am Twirly-Whirly, the great conjurer from the land of Tiddlywinks, said Hop in such a grand voice that Skip and Jump wanted to laugh. I am here to take the place of the conjurer who could not come. The sentry let them pass. Go straight up the drive, he said, and at the top of the first flight of steps you will see the Lord High Chamberlain. The 3 brownies went on. Hop was enjoying himself. He told the others to walk behind him and bow whenever they saw him turn their way. You're getting a great deal too grand, grumbled Jump, who wished that he was the conjurer instead of Hop, for he was carrying the basket and finding it rather heavy. The Lord High Chamberlain was very surprised to see them. He was even more surprised when he heard Hop telling him who he was. Twirly-Whirly, the great conjurer, he said, pretending to know all about him. Oh dear me, what an honour to be sure. Very kind of you to have come, very kind. Pray, come this way. He led them to a tea table and gave Hop a chair. Skip and Jump stood behind them and looked longingly at the cakes and jellies, tarts and custard spread on the table in front of Hop. Little pages ran up and offered them all the nicest things to the conjurer. He took some of each, and Skip and Jump looked on enviously. Aren't we going to have any? Whispered Skip in Hop's ear. You're not going to leave us out, are you? Hush, said Hop. You are only my servants today, and if you don't keep quiet, I shall keep turning round to you, and you will have to bow until your backs ache. Hop had an enormous tea. Then he announced to the Lord High Chamberlain that he would now come and do his famous trick with his magic basket, if their Majesties the King and the Queen would like to see it. Their Majesties at once sent a message to say they would be very pleased to see it. Come this way, said the Chamberlain, and led the 3 brownies to where the King and the Queen sat on their thrones. In front of them was a square piece of grass, and around it sat scores of fairies and gnomes, brownies and elves, all waiting to see Twirly Whirly, the great conjurer. Hop stepped grandly up to the king and queen and bowed 3 times. So did Skip and Jump. "I will now do my wonderful basket trick," said Hop in a very loud and haughty voice. Then he turned to Skip. "Bring me the basket," he ordered. Skip rushed forward in such a hurry that he tumbled over, and everyone began laughing. Jump helped him up, and together they picked up the magic basket. "Get into it," commanded Hop, pointing at Skip. Skip got in. "Put the lid on," Hop commanded Jump. Jump did so. Then Hop tapped 3 times on the lid, 1, 2, 3, and sang, "Rimini, romini, ray, my magic will take you away. Rimini, romini, roo, ever so far you will go." Everybody listened and watched and wondered what was going to happen. The king and queen bent forward to get a better view, and the little Princess Perenelle stood up in excitement. "Take the lid off," commanded Hop. Jump took the lid off, and the basket was empty. "Oh," said everyone in great surprise. "Oh, he's gone." "Roll the basket round for everyone to see that it's empty," commanded Hop, who was now thoroughly enjoying himself. Jump rolled the basket round so that everyone could have a good look. Then he brought it back to Hop. "Put the lid on," said Hop. Jump put the lid on. Everyone stopped breathing to see what was going to happen next. Hop tapped 3 times on the lid and sang the magic song. "Rimini, romini, ray, hear the spell and obey. Rimini, romini, Ralph, jump out of the basket yourself." And just as he finished, the lid flew off and out jumped Skip in his little green suit, looking as perky as anything. He capered about and bowed to everyone. "Oh, look, he's back again," shouted the fairies and brownies. "Oh, what a wonderful trick. Do it again, do it again." Hop bowed very low. "Would anyone care to come and get into the basket?" he asked. "I will do the trick with anyone." "Oh, let me," cried a little silvery voice, and who should come running onto the grass but the Princess Perenelle. "Come back, Perenelle," cried the king. "You are not to get into that basket." "Oh, please, please," she begged. "It's my birthday, and you said I could have anything I wanted." No, said the queen. "You mustn't get into that basket. Come back." "I shall cry then," said Perenelle, screwing up her pretty little face. Oh dear, said the king, who couldn't bear to see Perenelle cry. "Oh, you'd better have your own way then, but make haste about it." Perenelle jumped into the green basket and Skip clapped on the lid. Hop remembered what the witch had told him. He must tap the lid 7 times for royalty. So very solemnly he did so. Then he and Skip and Jump all chanted the magic rhyme together. "Rimini, romini, ray, my magic will take you away. Rimini, romini, ro, ever so far you will go." But, oh dear, whatever do you think happened? Why, just as the magic rhyme had finished, the basket rose into the air and sailed right away. Higher and higher it went, over the trees, over the palace, away towards the setting sun. "Oh," cried the queen, jumping up in terrible distress. "Where has my Perenelle gone to? Bring her back quickly." But Hop, Skip and Jump were just as surprised as anyone. What an extraordinary thing for the basket to do. "Arrest those conjurers," suddenly said the king in an awful voice. 6 soldiers at once ran up and clapped their hands on the brownie's shoulders. "Now, unless you bring Perenelle back at once," said the king, "you go straight to prison, and I'll have your heads cut off in the morning." "No," cried the brownies, very frightened indeed. "Please don't. We aren't conjurers, we're only brownies." "Nonsense," stormed the king. "Ordinary brownies can't do tricks like that. Now then, are you going to bring Perenelle back again?" "I can't. wailed Hop, big tears beginning to pour down his cheeks. I'm only a naughty brownie dressed up like a conjurer because you didn't ask me to your party. Suddenly, a watching brownie gave a shout of surprise. It was Gobo. He ran up to Hop and pulled off his peak hat and red cloak. Why, it's Hop, he cried in astonishment. Your Majesty, these brownies are Hop, Skip and Jump, the 3 naughty brownies of our town. Good gracious, said the king in a terrible upset. This is more serious than I thought. If they really are brownies, then I cannot bring back Perenelle. But where did you get the basket from? He asked Hop. Hop dried his eyes and told the king all about the witch's visit and how she had left the basket with him. Oh, it's Witch Green Eyes, groaned the king. She's often vowed to steal Perenelle away, and now she's done it through you naughty little brownies. My goodness, said Hop. Why do you think the witch has really stolen her? Do you think it's for always? Yes, sobbed the queen, who was terribly distressed. We shall never get her back, the darling. Oh my goodness, said Skip in a frightened voice. Oh my goodness, wailed Jump in a miserable voice. Oh, your goodness, suddenly roared the king in a temper. What do you mean, oh, your goodness? You ought to say, oh, your badness, you mischievous little brownies. You haven't got a bit of goodness amongst the 3 of you. I've a good mind to cut off your heads now, after what you've done. Oh my goodness, wept Hop again. He didn't mean to say it, but he couldn't think of anything else. The king grew angrier than ever. Where is your goodness? He demanded. Yes, where is it? Cried everybody. We don't know, stammered the brownies in dismay. Well, go and find it, stormed the king. Go along, go right out of fairyland and don't come back until you have found this goodness that you keep talking about. Quick, before I cut off your heads. Oh, cried the brownies in great fright, and they all took to their heels and fled. Down the steps they went, and down the drive, out through the palace gates, past the astonished sentries. Even then they didn't stop. They rushed down the road and into Cuckoo Wood as if 1,000 soldiers were after them. At last, out of breath, tired and unhappy, they sat down under a big oak tree. Oh my goodness, began Hop. Don't be silly, said Hop. Don't keep saying that. We're in a terrible, terrible fix. To be turned out of fairyland, wept Jump. What a terrible punishment. And how can we find our goodness? Of course we never shall. People don't have goodness that they can find. It's just the king's way of banishing us from fairyland altogether, wept Hop. He knows we will never be able to go back, and oh dear, whatever has happened to poor little Perenelle? What indeed? None of the brownies knew, and they were very unhappy. The only thing to do now is to go and see if we can find Perenelle and rescue her, said Jump. We'll sleep here for the night and start off in the morning on our way to Witchland. So all night long they slept beneath the big oak tree and dreamed of horrid magic baskets and packets of goodness that would keep running away from them. So that was the first chapter of the Book of Brownies. The next one is called The Adventure in the Cottage Without a Door. So I hope you enjoyed that. You can let me know if you did, and I might read you another chapter, and we'll see what happens to these naughty brownies and if they manage to find their goodness or find the Princess Perenelle. Well, boys and girls, I hope you enjoy half term. It's snowing outside today, so I'm sure lots of you will be going out to build snowmen and maybe go sledging, so be careful and have a great day.